During the 10 stops of the IJSBA National Tour, one fact became very obvious, that Jeff Jacobs is the man to beat. His 8-for-10 win record in the Pro Modified class is attributed largely to talent, hard work, and a fuel-injected jet ski that proved to be unbeatable in flat water. Jeff hopes to use this momentum to carry him to his 5th consecutive World Championship at the Scat Track World Jet Ski Finals here at Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Jeff's arch rival Victor, Sheldon, and crew have developed their own fuel-injected jet ski to bridge the performance gap, but the combination is unproven. In contrast, number 3 in the nation, Chris Fischetti, has chosen to perfect his reliable winning combination. These top 3 Americans will be up against the best in the world, including teams from Japan, Australia, Canada, and Europe. And if they should fall, there's a host of others ready to pounce. All of this, plus the World Championships in freestyle. As today, we bring you the Scat Track World Jet Ski Finals. This IJSBA sanctioned event is being brought to you by Scat Track, the impeller experts, and by Movies International, water sports apparel for the 90s. Welcome to the Nautical Inn Resort on the Colorado River at Lake Havasu City, Arizona for the Scat Track World Jet Ski Finals. Hi, I'm David Stanfield, and today it is the largest and richest jet ski race of the year, with the premier riders coming from all over the world competing in 4 different classes. We have freestyle, the X2, the pro women, and of course the pro men. Joining me, former 2-time world jet ski champion and the winningest jet ski rider of all time, Larry Rippenkroger. And Larry, have you seen a venue like this ever?
Absolutely incredible crowd this year, the biggest I've ever seen in Lake Havasu. And you know, I just can't get over how much it's grown since 1981 when I first began competing. Back then it looked more like a club event. Today we have riders from 14 different countries. They've had to limit the entries to just under 600, and they've had to qualify just to get here. They are all here trying to win a world championship in either a class or an overall category. In order to do that, they have to compete in 3 events: the slalom, the pro super stock closed course, and the pro modified closed course. They get 20 points for a first, 17 points for a second, and so on. And at the end of the day, the rider with the most points is going to be the overall world champion.
The odds-on favorite to win his 5th World Championship title, 5th in a row, would have been Jeff Jacobs. But earlier today, in the Pro Superstock final, Jeff Jacobs placed a disappointing 14th. He did not finish the race. Jeff Jacobs dominated the national tour in Superstock, slalom, and Pro Modified. In fact, in the Pro Modified class, he won 8 of 10 races over the summer. And in the slalom event, well, he is the world record holder. Slalom's coming up, and the Modified's coming up. Can Jeff Jacobs make up for that poor finish in the Superstock?
Well, it's not looking real good. Without a doubt, 1991 is going to go down in the history books as an upsetting year for Jeff Jacobs. Taking advantage of that mechanical failure was Chris Fischetti. He went on and won the Pro Superstock event earlier. Victor Sheldon was all over him throughout the race. He finished second. Those 2 riders are going to be the favorites now to take the 1991 overall Pro World Championship.
There are still 2 more races in the pro category left. We've got the slalom and the Pro Modified final. We're going to have to see what's happening. Right now, they are setting the course for the slalom. Let's take a look at conditions. Let's go to the 3rd member of our team, Todd Harris. He is beachside. Todd?
Thanks, guys. I'm standing a little bit in the water down in the impound area. The water is around 66 degrees, a little bit cool, so most of the riders have donned that wetsuit. Air temperature, though, in the mid-90s. The fans are loving it. We look like we've got some maximum tanning rays for a great day of racing. Back to you, Larry and Dave.
By virtue of his big win earlier this morning in the Pro Superstock race, Chris Fischetti leads the points race to win his first ever World Championship title. Now, coming up next, we have the slalom competition. A little bit later, we have Pro Modified. But in the slalom competition, they had qualifying yesterday in very rough conditions. Jeff Jacobs, as expected, set the fastest time. Number 2 was Chris Fischetti. Tell us a little about slalom.
Well, in the slalom competition, the riders are running strictly against the clock. And the way they do that is that there's an electronic beam at the beginning of the slalom course. The riders go through, break the beam, that starts the clock. They zigzag up through the course, turn around at the end, zigzag back, hit the beam again, shutting the clock off. What you don't see, though, is that there's a piece of framework underwater holding the buoys in position. The course is the same every single weekend on the tour. And with that in mind, Jeff Jacobs is the current world record holder in the slalom event. He's going to be the favorite once again today.
Conditions right now are primed to set a new world record. Let's turn our attention to the slalom finals. Harry Gocher will be up next. He'll be trying to better a time of 25.25 set by Scott Watkins, who leads the slalom competition at this point in front of Chad Burns and Greg Amoroso. Now, qualifying was held yesterday where Harry placed 5th with a time of 26.95, but it was much choppier, and today's another story.
Well, without a doubt, Dave, the times today will be much faster. The smooth water conditions allows the riders to go into the turns much harder, keep the pumps hooked up. The slalom event is a strong event for Harry Gocher. We should see a fast time from him.
Number 5 on the water right now, Harry Gocher, 21 years old, out of Las Vegas, Nevada, a former 550 slalom national and world champion.
Harry making just a couple of small mistakes, a little bit wide in the turns, but he's really keeping his momentum up, so it should be a good time.
A time of 25.06, that's nearly 2/10 faster. He moves into first place, overtakes Scott Watkins. 4th-year pro Harry Gocher in the lead right now. Let's take a look at that run one more time.
Well, here's a minor mistake from Harry. Gets a little bit low, dips the nose under in that turnaround buoy. As he comes back, you can see he's a little bit wide on the turns, a bit of a gap between himself and the buoys. That costs you time each turn, but his momentum is high.
Next up, we have Victor Sheldon. Victor qualified 4th yesterday, 400ths faster than Harry with a time of 26.91. You'll notice a totally different style on his left-hand turn, Larry.
Victor Sheldon uses what's called a leg drag turns in those left-hand turns. This acts like a rudder. It allows him to go into the turns hard, sweep the turn a little bit faster than he would if his body was in the water. There's a good shot of it there. It allows him to keep a lot of momentum.
The 1988 expert national champion, Victor Sheldon, trips the electronic beam and turns in a time of 24.81 and moves into first over Harry Gocher. Quite a surprise. The runs are faster and faster. Again, the qualifying is inverted as we take a look at Victor Sheldon and his style.
Harry is going into a right-hand turn. This is a body turn. You can see his shoulder dips down in. Coming up next will be a left-hand turn. There's that leg. And you can see how it acts like a rudder. It's dragging through. It allows him to sweep through the turn at almost full throttle, where here on the right-hand turns, he's got to dip his body down in.
A quarter of a second faster he turns in, a time of 24.81. Into first place goes number 3, Victor Sheldon. The current standings, Sheldon, Gocher, Watkins, Burns, and Amoroso, barely a second, a little more than a second, separate the top 5. And the house, it's at capacity, a testament to how popular jet ski racing has become.
Yeah, it's interesting to note that this is the first year that the IDSBA has charged admission, but the crowds are as big as ever. They've filled the Nautical Inn Beach to capacity for both yesterday's qualifiers and today's finals.
Next up, we have the Australian champion, Todd Ross, from the Gold Coast. Todd qualified 3rd yesterday with a time of 26.48, and again, in rough conditions.
Well, the interesting thing to note about Todd Ross is his stance. Look at his feet. Right foot back, left foot forward on left-hand turn. Then he switches them. Left foot back, right foot forward. It takes a lot more effort, I think, but it seems to be effective for Todd. He's got a lot of speed carrying through the turns. Good slalom run.
From Brisbane, Australia, comes Todd Ross and turns in a very quick time. Todd Ross, 24.53, and he moves into first. Good showing for Todd Ross, a unique style.
Yeah, in fact, I had tried this style in my career, and I just couldn't get it to work well for me, but Todd has certainly got it figured out. He's got his right foot forward now, but there it is. He puts his right foot back for the left-hand turns. It appears to rotate his body around to have his back facing the water more so he can do a body drag both on the left and right-hand turns.
They are running in reverse order once again of fastest qualifying times to save the best for last. Here's the flying fish, Chris Fischetti out of El Cajon, California.
Fischetti appears to have adopted a bit of Victor Sheldon style with a right-hand leg drag turns and a body drag on the left-hand turns. Boy, good run for Chris. Quick turnaround buoy. He's cutting the buoys nice and tight. This is going to be a fast time.
Number 2 on his ski, Chris Fischetti, 23 years old, a 6th-year pro, and a very quick time, 24.24. And he is nearly 3/10 faster than Todd Ross.
First time, the hot time, 24.24.
As we take a look at the replay, here is where Fischetti made up all of his time, that turnaround buoy. He was in and out of that turn in no time at all. A lot of speed coming back on his return run. But that turnaround buoy, I believe, is where Chris really made up the difference.
Chris Fischetti A crowd favorite here at Lake Havasu, in fact, a crowd favorite all over the world. But Larry, putting himself in first place, I don't think the fish is really happy with his time.
Yeah, I think Chris knows that he's going to have to get down into the 23s if he hopes to beat Jeff Jacobs, but it was a good run.
Bichetti in the lead at this point, ahead of Australian Todd Ross and Victor Sheldon. Jeff Jacobs now qualified on top yesterday with a time of 25.75, but he's capable of going much faster in smooth water. He's the world record holder at 22.48.
Jeff on the slalom course is like going to the bank and putting your ATM card in the machine. You can virtually count on him winning this event every weekend on tour. He's a master of the slalom. His style is just almost poetry in motion.
Fifth-year pro Jeff Jacobs going after a world record here. He moves into first. He wins the slalom title, 22.55, but does not eclipse the world record he set a couple years ago in Texas, 22.48. Nonetheless, a great job for Jeff Jacobs.
Incredible run by Jeff. There you see it, clipping that buoy there. That is the idea. The closer you get to the buoys, the faster your time is going to be. He goes into the turn so hard, so fast, and gets back out just as quick. Absolutely incredible run by Jeff Jacobs.
20-year-old Jeff Jacobs out of El Cajon, California, the fifth-year pro, wins this, the Slalom World Championship. Here are the final results, and what's amazing is Jeff Jacobs wins by over a second and a half. In the women's pro class, CHRISTY CARLSON and Reagan Cole, boat number 1 and 2. CHRISTY CARLSON, obviously the favorite coming into Lake Havasu City, Arizona, the defending two-time national champion going for her third world championship title. Well, when you think of CHRISTY CARLSON and Reagan Cole, you think of great hole shots, and obviously they come across the finish line that way more often than not. CHRISTY CARLSON won 9 of 10 national title championship races this summer. Well, coming into Lake Havasu City, Arizona, she had an international field of competition. Here are the highlights. It was the proverbial showdown that happened all year long, but here it's one day, winner take all. The day started out with the slalom where Reagan made a flawless pass. The quickest to that point at 25.26, bettering the next competitor by 1.23 seconds. But CHRISTY isn't one to buckle under pressure. She went out in perfect conditions and set a new world record for the women at 24.25 seconds.
The thing about CHRISTY CARLSON is that she is so smooth, and that is the key to the slalom event.
Then later came the closed course, so Reagan vowed to get the hole shot. And when that plan went astray, she went to plan B.
If she makes a mistake, I'm going to be right there to take advantage of it, and that's basically my strategy. In the technical parts, I'm going to try to go smooth. You've got to realize you're not going to gain time in all parts of the course. I'm going to try to keep smooth momentum. Places where I can go fast, I'm going to take advantage of that and get on the gas.
Reagan managed to keep CHRISTY in her sight, and on lap 7, CHRISTY doubled back to a log jump, unsure if she had been waved off by a yellow flag. They got close enough to exchange paint, but Reagan wasn't able to capitalize on the mishap. CHRISTY CARLSON went on for the win in her third consecutive world championship, taking the win over Reagan Cole and the Japanese team of Kamiko Ban and Kamiko Matsuguchi. Michelle Curry's 5th place finish, combined with a third in the slalom, placed her third overall behind CHRISTY and Reagan. But the basis for CHRISTY's success runs much deeper than a single weekend of racing. Most people would not see the relationship between Mozart and pro jet ski racing, but it's just one example of the intense mental and physical training CHRISTY has dedicated herself to as part of a cross-training program designed to keep herself ahead of the competition.
Cross-training I love to do because it's really fun and it is physically, helpful. And I like to surf any chance that I can get. I like snowboarding and rollerblading, all these new style sports. Surfing isn't very new, but the form and the feeling you get are all relative between surfing and snowboarding and jet skiing.
CHRISTY is also quick to give credit where credit is due, particularly her teammates and sponsors, and appreciates the support she has received in starting her own business, Jet Gems Jewelry, based on jet ski themes. Perhaps her greatest support, however, has been from her family over the years. Even here at the World Finals, her father and brother helped with her booth.
Probably the most important thing in my life are my relationships with other people besides God. And no doubt my family and I are extremely close. They love me whether I'm winning or whether I'm losing, and it's unconditional love. And so that builds me up more than anything because I've got their support no matter what.
Back at the World Jet Ski Finals, the crowd has been treated with a great day of racing. Many dignitaries on hand with a deep appreciation of the sport of jet ski racing. Earlier, they witnessed what could very well be a very significant factor in the overall World Championship points race, the Pro Superstock Close Course. Here are the highlights. When Chris Fischetti launched from the line next to the Pro Superstock National Champion Jeff Jacobs, he knew this wasn't going to be easy. But when he rounded the first buoy in front of him, the adrenaline kicked in overdose proportions. And anyone who knows Fischetti knows that the flying fish and adrenaline is a very volatile and entertaining combination.
By lap 4, Fish had managed to put a bit of distance between himself and Jacobs, but he knew better than to get a false sense of security. Though Chris had won the Pro Superstock in Chicago, Jacobs had won 6 Pro Superstock wins for the year, 4 of them in flat water.
By lap 6, Fish's lead had shrunk slightly, and a stumble over the log jump could have spelled disaster. But later that same lap, things started to sour under Jeff's hood. You could see Victor's smile right through his helmet. While things continued to go bad for Jacobs, Fischetti was having the time of his life.
On lap 11, Jacobs' day took a radical turn from what he had planned when what was later found to be a twisted crankshaft took its toll. For Fish, it was just the start of what could be a dream come true.
As excited as he was about the win, he was more excited to find out who got second and who DNF'd.
What? He's out. Jeff's out. DNF. You're going to be the overall. DNF. Show the crowd, dude.
Jeff Jacobs officially finished 14th, gathering only 3 points compared to Fischetti's 20 points for first. He talked to Todd Harris about the race.
Yeah, it took a lot of everything. A little luck, a lot of horsepower, some speed. Yeah, my Mariner boats were rocket ships. I hole-shotted, rode as fast and as smart as I could, and I captured the win.
Were you surprised with what happened with Jeff Jacobs?
I knew somebody was behind me. I knew Jeff was there. Victor's fast, Holland H, there's a lot of guys. I just rode my own race as fast as I could. I knew I could hear the motors revving behind me, though. I had a partner sitting at the end of the straightaway on his jet ski signaling me because I had some trouble with Jeff in a qualifier yesterday catching me down that back stretch. That really helped me a bunch. I was drawing zigzags all down the back stretch trying to mess their lines up. That helped a lot.
Okay, when you saw Jeff Jacobs out of the race, that had to send you a little confidence in you.
Yeah, actually, I didn't see Jeff until I crossed the finish line and saw Victor behind me, so I assumed Jeff had either fallen or was out of the race. Yeah, that's always good.
Current overall standings after the Superstock and this morning's slalom, Chris Fischetti is in the lead, but in 5th place with 23 points is Jeff Jacobs.
Difficult situation for Jeff Jacobs. He has to win this Pro Modified event. Even if he wins it, all Fischetti has to do is finish 10th or better, and he will be the new world champion.
Our world champion since 1987 has been Jeff Jacobs. The 4-time world champion out of Elkhorn, California is going to need some luck today.
He certainly is. Unusual position for Jeff Jacobs to be in. Usually he's dominating this event. He definitely needs some luck today, though.
Jeff Jacobs sits on the pole. Victor Sheldon, currently ranked number 2. Boat number 3, though, his ski is up in the pits at this point.
Sad situation for Victor. He is the one person that stood a good chance of winning this thing overall. Could possibly take it away from Chris Fischetti, but right now his chances of doing that have dwindled away.
He runs back to the pits, and his boat now makes it into the water. It looks like he's going to start this closed course Pro Modified race.
It looks like it's not over yet for Victor Sheldon. He appears to be back in this thing. They've got whatever it was worked out. He's going back to the starting line. And listen to the crowd, Dave. Victor Sheldon is back in this thing.
2nd overall in the National Tour in the Pro Modified class. He has a good shot at winning the World Championship closed course against either Chris Fischetti or Jeff Jacobs, and he's in the hunt right now.
Boy, you want tension, you want anxiety. Victor Sheldon will not have any problem getting his adrenaline up for this one.
Here we go, the World Championship closed course Pro Modified race. And a fantastic start by Jeff Jacobs. Whole shot by Jacobs once again.
Jacobs exploding up on. Look at on the outside. Who is that Fischetti? It is. But look at Jacobs down that back straightaway. Unbelievable.
Leader, boat number 1, Jeff Jacobs. Boat number 2, Chris Fischetti on the outside. Boat number 5, Paul and Harry Gocher. And Harry Gocher is riding all out.
He really is. A lot of banging going on. Whoa, look at him slam into that turn. Gocher is going for it. Only the first lap of the race, and he's letting it all hang out.
Your leader, Jeff Jacobs, got an incredible hole shot. We should take a look at that one more time.
Jeff Jacobs closest to us. Chris Fischetti way down the line due to some problems in the qualifying rounds. Jacobs launches off that line, keeps it hooked up. He's got excellent speed going down the straightaway. Fischetti, though, on the outside, I think he surprised Jeff going into the first turn buoy.
Jeff Jacobs doing what he does best, getting the hole shot, but first and foremost qualifying for the pole position. He is in the lead. Here's Victor Sheldon, boat number 3, who barely got into this race, had a 2-minute hold, and he is dead in the water right now.
Certainly disappointing for Victor Sheldon. I have been in a situation myself before. There's nothing so frustrating as to be out on that race course. Nothing you can do. It's a valiant effort by Victor Sheldon's crew, though. They just got fuel injection on the machine 2 days ago. They've been dialing the bugs out of it. Hard telling at this point what went wrong, but certainly it's got his problems.
Boat number 2 in second place is Chris Fischetti. He has thousands of fans hoping he'll win this first World Championship. Let's go to the beach side with Todd Harris.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here in the front row of the action in the battlefield, and I got some fans here. Who are you pulling for today?
The fish.
So you can safely say you weren't disappointed in the action so far?
Great race.
All right. Are you disappointed in the action the rest of the races?
Yeah, it's been great competition.
How long did you have to get down here to get these front row seats?
3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning 2 nights ago. And we left him here staked up overnight. Ripped him up.
And was it worth it?
It was worth it. Definitely worth it.
All right. We got some happy fans down here. Back to you, gentlemen.
They should be pleased with what's going on right now in the closed course Pro Modified. Fischetti is in second place looking for his first World Championship overall title. The lead, though, is Jeff Jacobs out to prove a point.
Certainly does have a point to prove, Dave. He's 12 seconds in the lead right now, and it appears to be pulling away at an average rate of 1 second per lap over Chris Fischetti.
Current standings, Jeff Jacobs, Chris Fischetti, Harry Gocher, Tom Bonacci, and Mark Eckert. And right now in sixth place is boat number 13, Dan Fitzgerald out of Tahunga, California. Dan, very consistent, 5th in the Pro Modified class on the National Tour. 3 fifth-place finishes, Long Beach, California, Chicago, and Daytona. He is racing poor boy style, meaning he has no major sponsors.
There is a lot of factory support for those top 4 guys, and there's a lot of guys like myself who pretty much do this on their own. I'm a full-time accountant all year. I work 70-hour weeks, so I can, do this in the summer months. But it pushes me, I want to be in that top category, and whatever it takes, I'm going to put as much heart, as much as I've got into it to do it. I've just about dedicated my life to this sport right now, and all the support I can get, I'm very grateful for.
Well, for Dan to finish at a consistent 5th every weekend without factory support is quite an accomplishment.
Boat 51, Chad Burns misses the buoy, going to circle back.
Oh, brutal crash there. Harry Gocher coming around. Chad Burns' hood is loose. The ski is going to go down now. There it is.
And Larry, will the ski actually sink? It's submerged right now, obviously.
That's about as far down as they'll go. They're filled with flotation in the side rails and the handle pole, and that's about as deep as they'll go.
Here's the problem. He went over the buoy. He's going to circle back out of the racing line to the left, and Harry Gocher tries to avoid him.
Yeah, Harry didn't realize that Chad had missed the buoy. He didn't realize that he was going to circle back to it. Now you look at her, Chad's handlebar is caught in Harry's vest. Harry's trying to get away, yanks him off the ski virtually.
Boat number 51, first-year pro Chad Burns, 18 years old, out of Spring Valley, California, out of competition. Tough luck for the former Expert World Finals champion. Our leader, Jeff Jacobs, and to say that his career in jet ski racing has been successful is quite an understatement. Let's take a moment and see what's made Jeff Jacobs such a dominant force. Since winning his first world championship as a novice in 1985, Jeff Jacobs has been a champion. He won both the national and world titles in 1987, and every year since has followed suit. He attributes his success to hard work, practice, and a positive mental attitude. Jeff is one of those rare individuals that excels at whatever he chooses to do.
It's the challenge of mastering what you're doing. It's like picking up a guitar. And it's the first week is the hardest part. You think you're not getting anywhere, but once you learn how to play some chords, once you learn how to stand up on a surfboard, then you've got it. From then on out, it's smooth sailing. And from that point, when you try to master it and try to get as good as you possibly can, that's kind of what I've done jet ski. For my first time out, I've always wanted to get better and better, and make it look easier. And that's what's fun for me. That's the challenge. Trying to have fun and doing the job's kind of two different things now. It's like you want to have as much fun as you can, but you got to get out there and give it 100%. And I try to do both. I mean, that's the key, to keep the fun in it and do as best you can.
Obviously, the demands of a national tour make for an interesting teenage lifestyle, as not too many people have a well-established career by the age of 20. It has provided Jeff with the opportunity for a lot of international travel, which he loves.
I don't have any regrets. I mean, I've had fun. I've gone to a lot of different countries. I've met a lot of people. I've made a lot of money. All at, the age I'm doing that, I think it's great, and I'm loving it.
From his black Stratocaster to his PJS fuel injector machine, Jeff Jacobs is in the lead, and looking on is Victor Sheldon.
Looking very disappointed, understandably so. We just found out a moment ago that Victor Sheldon, it was a broken piston that took him out of the race. Disappointing day for the slasher.
1 lap to go. The current standings: Jeff Jacobs, Chris Fischetti, Harry Gocher, Tom Bonacci, and Dan Fitzgerald has moved into 5th. Over the log jump last time for boat number 1, Jeff Jacobs, and here is the flying fish.
Chris Fischetti 18 seconds behind, and actually I'm rather impressed with the way he's been riding the last several laps. He's been able to control that radical personality of his, and he's ridden a smart race. He's been conservative and saved the motor, just trying to finish this one.
Boat number 5, Harry Gocher, is in 3rd. Down the back straight for the final time is Jeff Jacobs, and the crowd is starting to applaud Jeff Jacobs.
That's got to feel good. It's going to be a kind of an anticlimactic year for Jeff Jacobs, but he's been on top for so long, and the American way is to always cheer for the underdog, and to have the crowd behind you for a change, it's got to feel good.
They finally appreciate the man that has dominated jet ski racing in the last 5 years, Jeff Jacobs. Double checkered flags, they come out, he looks back, a big lead, and his pro modified championship here will be in this class alone. He loses the world title to 2nd place finisher here in this class. It's going to be Chris Fischetti, boat number 2 with the checkered flag, our new world champion.
Unbelievable day for the fish. He's been trying to do this for so long, and I bet right now he can't even speak, Dave.
Jeff Jacobs to the beach, goggles to the crowd. He wins this pro modified race, which is a world championship in the class, but he doesn't win the title. Here's how he won this class, the clean hole shot.
PJS fuel injector machine explodes off the line. Jeff keeps it hooked up. Beeline to that first turn, but look at Fischetti on the outside there. He had a lot of speed carrying on the outside. He may have been able to get that hole shot, but you have to wonder, did he really want it? If he had found himself in front of Jeff, would have put himself in a difficult position. I don't know if he really wanted it.
Winning the Pro Modified World Championship classes, Jeff Jacobs, he's standing by with Todd Harris. Todd?
Jeff, fine ride, man. Way to go. A little bit of possible revenge on this run?
Yeah, I had a lot of revenge. It was kind of a gift to Chris to give him that supersonic victory, but I wanted to come back in mod, and that's the only way to do it, is to win in modified. And the boat was flying.
Did you realize how far ahead of you were than everyone?
Yeah, I checked out where Chris was. He was about, I'd say, a good half lap behind me, and I was out there cruising rough water, having fun with myself, jumping the buoys and stuff.
Despite the disappointment earlier in the day, how do you feel the year went overall?
Oh, the year, I couldn't ask for a better year, but I had a DNF, but that goes with the territory. But to come back and win in mod just means just as much to me. So I had a great season. There's nothing I can say less about it.
Have we heard last from Jeff Jacobs?
No way. I'm going to be here till, I don't know, maybe till I die. I don't know. I'll be here for a while. As long as I keep winning races and be happy at what I'm doing, I'm going to be here for a long time.
Congratulations.
Jeff Jacobs wins the battle, but the war is won by Chris Fischetti, our new pro overall world champion.
Chris Fischetti on cloud 9 right now, getting a hug from his mom. You can bet that's one proud lady.
Earlier today, there was the famous and quite popular swimsuit competition. Check it out. The IGSBA has 4 classes, the women's, the pros, the freestyle, and the X2. Let's take a look at highlights of X2 action. In the modified class, Tim Judge, out of Florida, 27 years old, 46X on his ski, had a great national tour, winning 5 of 10 races, and he won the overall class championship.
Tim did today what he did so many times on tour this summer, is he got the whole shot. He had a very high percentage rate of getting off to a great start. But what's interesting here is on the 10th lap, Art Chambers was right on his tail after 10 laps of racing.
Art Chambers, 4th overall in the Pro X2 class on the national tour, put in a great ride.
Here's a look at Tim Judge's style, very clean and precise.
When the white flag did come out, the amazing thing started to happen. Boat failures really played a big part in the last lap here. First of all, going down was Art Chambers. Moving into second was Chris McCluggage. At this point, he had the World Championship.
He had the World Championship wrapped up, but it was not meant to be today. 12 seconds later, his machine stops and Chris McCluggage is out of it.
Then came Matt Allagood from Jacksonville, Florida, number 3 on his ski. He moved from 4th to 2nd and captured the overall X2 championship. Winning this race, though, was Tim Judge. We talked to him.
Everything was going pretty good. The course has changed. It's choppy, smooth, choppy, but it was good. A good day.
Okay, how was the competition?
It's always stiff. You know, it's always, the competition's always there. Anybody can win, so I try to just get out there, be a little faster, a little safer, do my thing.
Congratulations to Tim Judge winning the Pro X2 modified class. As for our overall national champion, Matt Allagood, a 7th in slalom, a 3rd in the limited, and a 2nd in the Pro modified, gives him the overall X2 World Championship title. Matt Allagood out of Jacksonville, Florida, just 16 years old. Freestyle, quite possibly the most popular form of competition, especially on the IGSBA National Tour. And here at Lake Havasu City, Arizona, thousands of fans edge to the water to watch the top pros in the world do what they do best, have fun on a jet ski. First and foremost, rules and regulations for jet ski competition in the freestyle format. 2-minute routine, scored on difficulty, precision, variety. 7 judges score 0.5 to 10 points maximum. Highs and lows are thrown out. A perfect score is 50 points. And as you can see here, they'll try anything to score points. And we will pick up the competition with this man, Chris Williams, 31 years old, out of San Mateo, California. Bulldog maneuver. And spins his ski into a 360. Good, powerful opening move for Chris Williams. 4th overall in 1990, the national tour, 4th this year. Nice 360 move from the water. Now a tail stand. Great balancing move, one-handed as well. Great control for Chris Williams. The judges sitting right off that dock. In view, up on the hood cover, a 360. And pulls off 2 in a row. Wild paint job on his jet ski for Chris Williams. Williams now pops the balloon. And he goes, what happened? Well, there's another balloon out there. We'll see what happens with the second balloon. Smooth 180. Chris Williams, 185 pounds, 5'9", big guy, ex-football player. Very aggressive and innovative with his routine. Now looks to the crowd. And a little nose stab. A 180 submarine gets the crowd wet along the shore. A balancing move, a 360 in the tray. And into a tail stand. Chris Williams, competition 5 years, 3rd year pro. Nickname is The Crash. We haven't seen that yet. Whoa, just about. Williams with a quick 360. There, back into the crowd again, getting them wet. They seem to love it. Chris Williams, a submarine under the yellow balloon, comes up, and he's tangled with the rope that is submerged to the anchor. And you heard the announcer, 15 seconds left. He's going to have to get restarted. Not much time left to score points, and that is it for Chris Williams' 2-minute routine. but he's not going to let this balloon go to waste. There he pops it, and the smaller balloons are released. Chris Williams, the 87 regional freestyle champion, then in 88 the World Finals amateur freestyle champion, then in 1989 the pro freestyle champion here at the World Finals Lake Havasu City. Opened up strong with a full 360, a bulldog move, and scored some big points. Ended on a fun note, but did not score points for that final maneuver when the balloons were released. And his score, 46.7 for Chris Williams. That moves him into the lead. Next up, my colleague Larry Rippenkroger out of Sacramento, California. He's been jet skiing 15 years, been a pro since 1980, the two-time overall world champion. Opens up with the Australian backwards barefoot. Spins the ski around. A tail stand, one-handed tail stand. And a flashy nosedive into a 180 up on the hood cover. Larry Rippenkroger would love to win here today. The 1989 Australian freestyle champion, 360. Back up on the hood cover he goes, one hand, 1 foot. Now 1 foot off the hood cover into a 360, pulls it off. Very creative and stylish. Larry Rippenkroger setting up for another move. One-handed submarine, and he comes up, pulls it off. Larry Rippenkroger with a new move there. And the crowd appreciates that. And now he rides 2 jet skis at once. Scoring points with this move. Larry Rippenkroger developed this a couple years back. Very difficult. Lets the one jet ski go, kills the engine. Now what's he doing? Backwards in the tray. 180, barrel roll. And he comes up facing the right way. Rippenkroger with another new move. A great routine thus far for Larry Rippenkroger, the former two-time overall world champion and the two-time freestyle world champion of 82 and 1989. Time running out, 180 aerial. Submarine underneath the log jump. Not a lot of height. And in turn, he can barely get underneath the log jump. Now into a tail stand, one-handed spin. Rippenkroger has 3 bilge pumps on his machine for moves like this. He goes down, takes in a lot of water, a 180 nose stab, comes back up. That's the end of his routine. And I think he closed out a little weak for Larry Rippenkroger. He wanted the big move, the big height, and the big submarine. Nonetheless, a great showing for Larry Rippenkroger. Let's take a look. His 180 aerial nose stab into a submarine under the log jump. He just doesn't get the height and can barely make it underneath the log jump. A score of 46.9. Larry not happy about those last couple of moves, but a good showing. Here's Jeff Kantz, ranked number 2 on the national tour. Jeff Kantz is out of Palm Desert, California, 43X, and you'll notice he's riding an X2 machine. He's very acrobatic, a lot of moves above the water. It's hard to submerge the X2 machine like we saw Larry Rippenkroger on his regular jet ski hull. There's a good one for you. Airwalk for Jeff Kantz. He's been in competition 2 years, second-year pro. He's been on a jet ski for about 5 years. A move of zone creation, somewhat of an Australian barefoot into a full 360. Kantz really muscles his machine around, 155 pounds, stands 5'6". Jeff Kantz, the wild man, kamikaze they call him. Underneath the entire hull and back up. Jeff Kantz, second in the freestyle class, 3 wins in 1991. Long Beach, Huntington, West Virginia, and Fort Myers Beach, Florida. And this machine, the X2, is especially good in the rough water, very stable. Look at that, with a twist. Headstand, twist over to the front, now a fountain possibly. Little miscue for Jeff Kantz at this point. Last year here, he was 4th in the freestyle class in the World Finals. There's a barrel roll. Combination finesse and power for Jeff Kantz. 180 into a tail stand. Jeff Kantz, originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, now has 15 seconds to finish his routine off. Sinks the nose, and a big fountain gets the crowd wet. They love it for Jeff Kantz, 32 years old, out of Palm Desert, California. And look at the acrobatics he performed. A perfect score is 50 points. And for Jeff Kantz, he receives 47 points. He moves into the lead. Only 2 competitors left, Lloyd Berlew and Scott Watkins. They call him Hollywood. Scott Watkins out of Vista, California, 32 years old. The World Finals champion of last year. Let's take a closer look. He started playing golf at the age of 3 and picked up surfing and started hanging out at the beach at the age of 13 because there wasn't enough what he calls social opportunities on the golf course. But it only took 5 minutes of riding a jet ski in the surf to convince him that this was something very worthwhile.
That's my true love, really. Right now, I can still, all these years I've been jet skiing, I still really look forward to the weekends, going out and riding in the waves. It's always changing. The ocean's always changing. It's always, the waves, can be 20 feet or they can be 2 feet. And there's still something new out there for you to do, something new that you haven't done before. A certain jump, you pull it off the right, just a certain way, and it's new. And so that's kind of, what that keeps me going right now with this jet skiing.
During the summer months, Scott Watkins competes all across the U.S. on the national tour and is the promotions director for a major jet ski apparel manufacturer. His lovely wife, Jennifer, just loves the lifestyle.
I think it's great. I mean, I'm lucky to be married to somebody that gets the chance to do that much traveling. I really enjoy it. I mean, I think that's why I married him. Yeah, that's not fun. Yeah, it's really good. I really like it.
No doubt Scott and Jennifer Watkins are living the American dream. As for Scott Watkins, well, he's making a decent living revolving around the sport of jet skiing, the sport he loves. And now and then, he finds a little free time for the game of golf. Back to the nautical end, Lake Havasu City, Arizona on the Colorado River. For this, the World Jet Ski Finals, current standings in the Pro Freestyle, we have Jeff Kantz, Larry Rippenkroger, and Chris Williams. And joining me back from his performance, Larry Rippenkroger. Now we have Lloyd Berlew out of Florida, 29 years old, the amateur freestyle champion of 1990.
Lloyd Berlew opening up with a flexibility move, showing his dexterity.
Nickname is Showtime, born and raised in New Jersey, and picked up the sport of jet skiing in Florida. 2 wins in the 1991 National Tour, 2 big wins in San Diego and Chicago, and here's one of his better moves.
Backwards on the hood, a 180 spin, and also spinning himself back into the tray. That's a difficult move.
And his patented handstand, we don't see a lot of people do this, only Lloyd Berlew.
This is Lloyd's trademark. You'll see him in a lot of the magazines in that particular shot.
Always smiling, gets the crowd pumped up, a lot of contact with the judges and the audience.
That is so true. You'll see that Lloyd does put a lot of effort towards trying to get the crowd behind him, get them cheering for him, and that does seem to affect the judges' scores.
7 judges scoring 0.5 to 10 points. Perfect score is 50 points after they throw out the high and the low, and he's trying to better Jeff Kantz's score of 47 points. Smooth water on the inside, close to the beach. And some fancy 180s into 360s.
The thing about those maneuvers there is there's a lot of sprays. They look spectacular. The crowd likes those. And here's Lloyd going into a tail spin.
Lloyd Berlew, last year at this location, won the World Amateur Freestyle Championship, then turned pro, won a couple of wins on the national tour, two to be exact, finished the season in 3rd, and he would love to win the World Professional Freestyle title here today. He has 2 minutes to do it.
A lot of enthusiasm there once again. Now that is a great move. Off the hood, down into the tray, and then a 360 into the tray, powers it into a submarine. That's a nice series right there.
Less than 15 seconds for him to try to capture this, the Freestyle World Championship. His final move, a 180 nose stab into a submarine, little tail stand, and that is it for Lloyd Berlew. Again, he's trying to beat Jeff Kantz with 47 points, and the crowd loved it.
Crowd definitely into it. Lloyd has got him fired up. There's a look once again at that trademark maneuver of Lloyd's, that handstand.
For the judges, well, Lloyd Berlew receives 47.4, and he takes over the lead by 0.4 of a point. He is the man to beat. Our final competitor, though, is Scott Watkins, the 1991 national champion and the 1990 world champion.
Scott starts off barefooting, spins the ski 180 degrees, rotates up on the front of it, and goes right into an Australian backwards barefoot. Those are a great series of transitional moves.
Scott Watkins, originally from Hollywood, Florida. Scott did not compete on the 1990 national tour. He won the 1990 World Finals Championship here at Lake Havasu, then went on to win the national tour in 1991 with 4 big wins, all in the ocean.
Scott there just completed a whole series of maneuvers, all standing on the hood. There, he powers it into a submarine. He comes up one-handed. Scott came up with that maneuver last year, and that is a really difficult move.
He's known for his ocean performances and riding the waves, but performing well here at Lake Havasu in the smooth water. Look at that.
A lot of throttle control. Just goes to show you how well-rounded Scott is. There's a one-handed Bronco is what he calls that. That's another Scott Watkins invention.
Scott is smooth, fluid, having a great time. He's an ocean or rough water specialist, but he is having really a great time here in the smooth water of Lake Havasu.
Yeah, it really is. You know, you expect Scott to perform well, but probably not quite as well since he is an ocean specialist, but he is having one incredible routine right now.
A couple of new moves. There's a good one, a no-handed. Actually, he was out of the tray, an airborne jump, and he lands and does a 360. Big submarine. Near vertical entry. And a beautiful 180 dab with his foot.
This routine, Dave, has been virtually flawless. I've seen just very little bobbles whatsoever. This is close to absolutely a perfect routine thus far.
Less than 15 seconds. His final move, a one-handed submarine underneath the log jump. And that ends the 2-minute routine for Scott Watkins.
Well, that, my friend, was a world championship winning event, I believe. I hate to say it as a competitor of Scott's, but as a friend, I can say that I think that one's going to do it for him.
In '88, he won the World Finals here. In 1990, the World Championship here. It looks like he's going to defend his title. Big aerial move, no hands, comes down the tray in a 360, pretty spectacular.
That was a brand new move. And this one here, an inverted dive. I think that's what really clinched it for him. He had a big move right at the end of his routine. Spectators are behind him, they love him.
And the judges love him. Take a look, 48.9 points. Scott Watkins is now the 2-time world freestyle champion. He wins, followed by Berlew, Kantz, Rippenkroger, and Williams. Right now, let's go beat side to Todd Harris and our champion.
With me now, the 1991 Pro Freestyle Champion, Hollywood Scott Watkins. Scott, going into your routine, what were you thinking?
Oh, God. I was thinking I'm defending champion. If I got everything to lose, nothing to gain, so I went into it a little nervous. Some of the earlier routines that were out there, a couple of my favorites were Larry Rippenkroger, Jeff Kantz. They had a few problems, and it left me some leeway, so I wasn't pressured by any of their routines getting the good scores. So about halfway through, I started realizing that I'm really pulling this one off, and that kind of gave me that extra bit of confidence and momentum to get through the rest of the routine with no mistakes and a winning combination.
When you came in, did you know you had the top ride thus far?
When I came in, I could feel it. My routine, pretty much, I don't think I really made any mistakes. It was a good routine, I thought. Pulled off a couple new tricks, and I just felt it. Yeah.
How soon will you start preparing for next year and come up with some new tricks in your bag?
Well, I'm going to probably give it a week or so, but, you know, I get right on it. I go out for fun a lot. I like the surf, and it seems like in the surf the conditions change so much. Every now and then you pull up something new by accident, and if you can do it again and again and again, then it's no longer an accident, and you put it in your routine and you use it.
All right. Champion again for 1991, Hollywood Scott Watkins.
This IJSBA sanctioned event has been brought to you by Scat Trap, the impeller experts, and by Moby's International, water sports apparel for the 90s. Well, congratulations to Scott Watkins winning the final event of the day, the freestyle, but the big overall winner, the new world champion, Chris Fischetti. I say the old racing adage, to finish first you must finish. You did, you finished, and you are now the new world champion. How do you feel?
Totally stoked.
That's it?
Speechless.
Speechless. The most intense day of probably Fish's life. Larry, your comments.
Well, I just wanted to ask him how hard it was for him to cool it and ride conservatively in the modified race, knowing his personality.
Yeah, the overall is the most important. I got a really good start in mod. I almost hole-shotted, but it looked too close. I pulled off and let Jeff go and saved the boat and got the overall title, and that's what counts in my mind.
Congratulations to Chris Fischetti, our new overall world champion. On behalf of my colleagues, Larry Rippenkroger, Todd Harris, I'm David Stanfield. So long from Lake Havasu City, Arizona, and the Scat Track World Jet Ski Finals.